Get ready for breaking news. Filmmaker Pedro Almodovar has just slammed the 2026 Oscars for being blatantly apolitical, asserting that the USA has ceased to be a democracy. Almodovar has been vocal before, calling Trump a catastrophe, and he's laying down the law about what's happening in Hollywood right now. We dive into the details of this explosive statement and what it means for the future of cinema.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the intense discussions swirling around the Cannes Film Festival with director Thierry Frémaux. Frémaux faced tough questions on everything from new Oscar submission rules and the controversy surrounding the Thelma and Louise poster charge to the backlash from the Berlinale. Find out what Frémaux has to say about politics in art and the evolving landscape of international film. We are also getting deep into the evolving rules at Cannes, as the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences unveiled a game-changing shake-up for the non-English language Best International Feature Film category. This change means that films can now compete for the Palme d'Or at qualifying festivals like Berlin and Venice, opening up massive new possibilities for international cinema. Finally, we explore how Cannes has completely supplanted the fall festivals as the main launchpad for Oscar campaigns. We examine the pipeline that has been building, including the success of films like Anora and the impact of streamers, showing how international premieres are reshaping the awards race. Stay with us for the full story. Filmmaker Pedro Almodovar has sharply criticized the 2026 Oscars for their perceived political neutrality, asserting that the United States has effectively ceased to be a democracy. In a recent statement, Almodovar voiced strong concerns about the current political climate, suggesting that the democratic process has paradoxically led to a totalitarian regime. He noted the irony that the established voting mechanisms have resulted in such an outcome, calling the situation both a paradox and deeply sad. Almodovar emphasized a willingness to speak out, stating that in Spain, there is no fear in calling out issues, referencing the country's response to international conflicts. The filmmaker drew a parallel between the lack of visible protests against the war or against Trump during the Oscar telecast and the broader political apathy observed. He pointed to Javier Bardem as a notable exception, citing his direct statement, "Free Palestine," as a significant form of dissent. Almodovar explained that his perspective is clearer because he is a foreigner working outside of Hollywood, allowing him to express his views without the same career constraints. This commentary comes as his upcoming film, Bitter Christmas, competes at the Cannes Film Festival. Cannes Film Festival director Thierry Frémaux addressed a barrage of pressing contemporary issues during a press meeting on the eve of the opening ceremony, tackling topics ranging from new Oscar rules and artificial intelligence to the festival's handling of political controversies and Hollywood trends. Addressing the ongoing backlash at the Berlinale and the role of politics in cinema, Frémaux stressed the festival's stance. The festival considers that political questions are primarily those of the artists, voices, and the voices of the artists whose work is being shown. He defended director Wim Wenders against criticism, arguing that filmmakers should not be burdened with political commentary, asserting that art, and cinema specifically, function as instruments of peace. On gender parity, Frémaux faced scrutiny over the low representation of women directors in the Palme d'Or contenders. He acknowledged the festival's past inconsistencies, but highlighted recent efforts. While noting that the official selection figures showed slow but positive movement, he emphasized the need for broader industry support, stating that cinema requires a woman's sensibility to be more present in the world of film. Regarding the Academy Awards, Frémaux welcomed the recent rule change allowing non-English language films to be eligible for consideration if they win top prizes at qualifying festivals. He viewed this as a sign of Hollywood opening up to international cinema, and noted the change would prevent situations where political stances might unduly influence jury decisions. On the rise of artificial intelligence, Frémaux offered a measured perspective. Comparing AI to the electric bicycle, He stated that while it is becoming a major subject in cinema, the focus must be on its implications for human existence. He drew parallels between the current debate and the introduction of digital effects, suggesting that films made without heavy AI manipulation retain an organic quality, referencing Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now as an example. Frémaux firmly stated that artists, screenwriters, and actors must be protected, calling for legislation to control the technology. Filmmaker Pedro Almodovar has sharply criticized the 2026 Oscars, accusing the event of being blatantly apolitical. Almodovar contended that there was a notable lack of protest regarding the war in Gaza and the actions of Trump, suggesting that only a few individuals, such as Javier Bardem, who is European, demonstrated opposition. Furthermore, Almodovar expressed a view that the United States has effectively ceased to function as a democracy. This critique comes as Almodovar has previously voiced strong opinions against Trump, notably during his reception of the Chaplin Award at Lincoln Center in New York City in 2025, according to reports from Variety. Cannes has firmly supplanted the traditional fall film festivals as the premier launchpad for Oscar campaigns, marking a significant shift in the awards' season strategy. This trend is driven by a confluence of changes in festival strategy, streaming service investment, and evolving Academy rules. The momentum for this shift was catalyzed by the success of films premiered at Cannes, exemplified by Sean Baker's Journey, which began with winning the Palme d'Or at the festival 10 months prior to his work gaining Oscar recognition. The Palme d'Or is widely considered the most prestigious prize in world cinema, and its win provides immense momentum. This pipeline continued this year with films like Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value and Kleber Mendonça Filho's The Secret Agent, which secured Best Picture cuts and multiple nominations. While other festivals like Venice and Telluride garnered significant nominations, Cannes led all festivals with 19 nominations, demonstrating its current sway. The fundamental change stems from how the industry interacts with the Academy. The shift began around the 2018-19 awards season when films like Alfonso Cuarón's Roma and Paul Polakowski's Cold War, both distributed by streamers like Netflix and Amazon, became Oscar contenders after being selected by Cannes. This success encouraged streamers to invest heavily in chasing Academy prestige. Simultaneously, the Motion Picture Academy of Sciences was adjusting rules for the International Feature Awards shortlist, coinciding with an influx of new international voting members, diversifying the Academy's ranks following the Oscars So White campaign. Cannes' historical role was cemented when its inaugural Palme d'Or winner, Marty, won the Best Picture Oscar 64 years later. Today, Cannes' late spring timing provides a crucial head start for films, allowing them to build significant buzz before a second wave of publicity occurs in the fall at festivals like Toronto and the New York Film Festival. This strategic playbook is being replicated by international auteurs, aiming to capitalize on the Cannes to Oscars pathway. Furthermore, the integration of text messaging and the normalization of subtitles in daily viewing habits mean that movies playing at Cannes are now constantly in the public eye, making the festival an increasingly vital platform for awards aspirations.